yet, but if I were betting, I would think that a shutdown is extremely likely.
We are just days away from a government shutdown, which could impact the migrant crisis here in San Diego. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee. If Congress doesn't agree on a budget for the new fiscal year, the government will shut down at 12:01 Sunday morning. As CBS 8's Shannon Handy reports, that will leave millions of workers without paychecks and put crucial programs on hold, including ones impacting migrants.
I spoke with an expert who says if a shutdown happens, Border Patrol agents will have to work without pay, processing migrant claims could slow down, and immigration court cases, which are heard here at federal court, will come to a halt.
It seems extremely likely this is going to happen, and the way out is a little bit unclear.
Stephen Goggin is an assistant professor of political science at San Diego State University. He says there have been about 20 government shutdowns since the 1970s, so they're pretty common, with the exception of the one looming right now, which he calls unique.
Normally they last, a few weeks or a few days, depending. The longest one was a few years ago. But in this case, it's relatively unique because the division are not between the president and Congress, for example, but it's within the Republican conference, within the House, and their inability to get something that satisfies both the kind of more moderate and more right-wing part of the party.
Millions of jobs and crucial federal programs are at stake, many of which are directly tied to handling the current influx of migrants coming across our border. Supervisor Jim Desmond estimates 7,500 migrants have been dropped in San Diego over the past 2 weeks. Just yesterday, the Board of Supervisors declared a humanitarian crisis. Goggin says if a shutdown happens, Border Patrol agents will still be expected to work, but won't get paid until a budget is passed, at which point they'll receive back pay as well. So to the public, it may appear to be business as usual. But here's what won't be. Immigration court cases will be put on hold unless it involves someone who is currently detained, which a majority of migrants crossing over are not.
Asylum requests and other things like that will likely be shut down on the back end. And so it could lead to a bit of a backlog, right, and create some issues there.
Goggin says if a shutdown happens and is resolved quickly, the impact won't be as bad. But the last shutdown happened in 2019, and that one lasted over a month, in which case the migrant crisis could become even worse.
Again, the real question is how long this lasts. If it's a day or a week or so, the backlog won't build up that much and it won't be that much of an issue. But if it goes longer, as we saw a few years ago in 2019, problems can begin to crop up.
Shannon Handy, CBS 8.